Hi lovelies, welcome back to My Life and Tarot. This is actually a sequel of the previous video I recorded of the unboxing of the birthday gift I got, the Quaria Magician's Oracle or whatever deck. And I said in the start of the unboxing thing that I will talk a little bit more after I've gone through the cards, but my husband appeared while the husband appeared, so we took our evening walk and I now have returned to actually continue where I was left off. So I plan to talk about the whys and the hows of my deck selection today. As maybe many of you know that I'm drawn to the earthy decks and the pagan, the forest people, the everything simple folk, and these are like my home decks, like the Druidcraft, like the Greenwich Tarot, like the Wildwood Tarot and the Anna Kay and such, but these that I mentioned are still my favorite decks, but all the others like Rider White, I will keep only one, and all the other decks have served their purpose for me, like the Magical Forest, like the Fairy Lights, and all the decks I've shown I've been wanting to let go of, because as I like those a lot, but my using them is not so often anymore, because my goal has shifted, or my aim has shifted from the earth level or the ground level a little bit to the other side, and the decks I want to work with and need or feel the need to work with are more etheric, or not depicting so many actual people and the everyday stuff they are doing or we are doing. That doesn't mean I am like shifted away from reality or something, but this is the personal work I'm doing with those decks. And I worked with the Magical Forest for over a year, and it was my hug deck and my childhood reminder and everything, until I didn't need to work on that anymore or with that. And as we grow out of our beloved teddy bears, that's what happened with the Magical Forest Tarot. I found a beautiful new home for it already, and in hopes of someone else can get all out of those decks that I experienced and I got. So now that I also sat with the Quaria Magician's deck a while and tried to sort out and understand what they are meant for, so I found out the colors of the borders are like, they are divided in sections, and the green ones, which are actually majority of the deck, is more the everyday and earth plane things. Then the blue ones are up there, and the black ones and red ones as well somewhat are the spirit or the whatever is around those two levels. So interesting deck. The more I look at it, the more I love it, and I didn't get it for working with actually taking spreads and daily cards, but more for the spiritual growth at this point. And the main decks I kept are all depicting no humans in them. And I just sat here and played my drum and just thought about what I'm wanting to say and wanting to tell you. And it has been a very, very interesting year for me this year, 2018, where so many revelations has happened. And while I was fully awake before as well, now I've gotten so many signals and messages from outside, so to speak, that the need or the urge to move forward is happening now, and I need to take that path that I've been actually shutting off as an option. I just had no idea how I fit into the equation of everything that is happening all around, and I knew all that's coming, but I didn't know if I have any part of it or if I have any position in this movement. But the things that has happened lately and the flashbacks I've had from the encounters with interesting people that just are coming and saying those things, and this has been really, really interesting and eye-opening for me, that I do have a position or a role to play in this movement that is going on right now, and a very small part of it is conveying all those things to whomever wants to hear them, or to whomever feels or needs this information to help them along their way or path. So not that I'm claiming to be I don't know what's the right word for it, the ascension guide or master of some sort. I'm sure I have a long way to go before I can even think that, but I feel there are some things still right now I can share, and maybe that can help someone out there to get themselves moving and on the next step, or get them to realize the cause and effect of their things, and yeah, I will do all those things and will share all those things starting the end of the August, when all my festival weekends and everything have been finished and over with, so then I can focus on being more on here and everything. But long story short, my deck choices for working with my own path are shifted from the earth plane or the ground level, because we are 2 feet on the ground, and God knows I am the one person that doesn't just run along with things, and I pretty much think and analyze and discuss these things a lot, because there's always this little bird chirping in the back of the brain that maybe you are like imagining things, or maybe this is just, I don't know, imagination running wild, and actually this is like mirage that will lead you to the wrong path. Or I choose my paths really carefully, and I'm not rushing into anything before I'm sure that that this is legit, this makes sense to me, and this feels right. I'm just not trying to go and do things because they are popular, or because someone said so, or because this is like the thing right now. And I'm also not doing those things to be different, or to stand out, or to be, I don't know, one of a kind, a snowflake. So that I have acknowledged a long time ago, that there's no such thing as snowflake per se, because like-minded people come in waves, and as the waves are different, we are all part of the same sea or the ocean still, and without first wave there's no second wave, etc, etc. So in the wave perspective, I don't know where I am right now, in which wave, but I have a strong feeling I am in the wave, because many of you probably too have noticed that people ascend or realize or grow in waves. There are always certain group of people that do the things at the same time, or realize things at the short time period that falls into the same wave, so to speak. And figuratively speaking, this is how I think it is and it works. So I'm definitely part of some wave, and I don't think I have to waste my time to sit and try to categorize this wave, or make or think of the name of this wave, because this will just get my focus off of the real thing and the movement itself. So this is happening right now, and I'm really happy to see that the waves are actually getting stronger, and they are more how can I say this, they are coming in shorter gaps compared to what was, I want to say, 2 years ago. Right now, so many people are raising their heads and or getting their heads out of the sand and starting to look around and actually starting to not to try to see only with their eyes, but only adding the other senses too. And this is just awesome to witness, I want to say. And when I started my, let's say, spiritual journey or the awakening journey, then at first there wasn't not many people who you could actually discuss those things with, and so I have learned to keep things to myself and be just the observer. And at one point, when I realized that so many people already have been doing this, but probably have also been quietly doing this, now the waves are getting louder and whatever the reasons are that people are hopping into those waves, some are just doing it maybe for the wrong reasons, and this is okay too, because it can end well or start something for them as well. Just now I feel I can talk about those things and openly, like, be on the path. And I've realized lately that one of my like goals or ascension, yeah, let's say goals, is to be able to sense and know the things that I now ask or use the cards for, if you know what I mean. So the cards as tools would become not primary anymore for myself or working with myself. To be able to rise above using those tools for those reasons, if I'm making myself more or less clear. So that doesn't mean I will stop using or reading cards. No, I'm not, because however smart or, I don't know, seer you might be, the usual clients or the people who you read to, you have to take out the cards, because otherwise some people are skeptical anyways, and if you try to tell them things without them seeing the cards and everything that you are using, many people might not, I don't know, believe you or think you are, I don't know, just saying things. In some cases, the cards have to be there, but my personal main goal is to not to use them one day for myself anymore. Right now I'm still using them, but not like I am taking cards of the day or I am taking cards for answering, I don't know, questions or what should I do or something. I still do that, but not anymore with the people cards, but more with the cards that have no, I don't know, earthly things on them. So my questions are also not on earth plane, but more on the development, personal development frequency. So I lined up some decks here, but I'm not sure if I'm going to show them or not. I've shown them for many times already, but yeah, the deck taste has not been changed actually, because I really love those decks I'm like letting go of right now. The taste itself is still the same. The goal is that has changed. So I have a feeling that I don't need those decks anymore, and I don't need so many decks anymore for working on myself or with myself. And I have about 20 decks now that I for this moment need to keep, or have a purpose to keep, and half of them are for me and half of them are for client readings, and I will probably show the decks and tell more about those in the future, near future. So this is like in the nutshell why I'm letting go of many decks, and also where I'm standing right now on my path, or putting out there that I'm also in a wave of something that goes somewhere. So after I talked to this lady who approached me, and from what I talked about, I've had a series of memories coming back to me from childhood, which I have totally shut off and probably tried to like not remember anymore, but her talk reminded me of those memories and started to bring them back. So I've been working on the demons right now, and how can I say, trying to decipher what I saw when I was a child. What were they, and how am I seeing those entities which I was thinking were demons, and where they stand on my path exactly. And I realized that these are like guardians that keep us from moving forward. You know, the gatekeepers, that if you are afraid or not ready, you are not able or allowed, or not allowing yourself to overcome and go to the light side of the other world, so to speak. So it's been really interesting time for me, and I'm still trying to get a like categorize it somewhere on my vocabulary and on my journey so I can't right now tell you more how-tos or something like that, because I'm on the moment of trial and error right now. So I wouldn't talk about anything I haven't experienced or tried for myself to know, is it safe or is it leading somewhere, and what are the aftershocks, so to speak, because might just be that I am in illusions, and you have to be like trust but check with these things, because there are the dark side, uh, let's say demons, entities that are trying to cloud us and make us do things to choose the wrong path, or the path that goes with a huge curve. So we could be just scared or tired and thinking that this wouldn't go anywhere. So, and to do this, to make the difference, I have to gain total control of how my body reacts to everything, and be totally aware all the time when I'm trying to do those things or go those places and see those things. So as I haven't yet accomplished all this, I feel I can't, how can I say, I can't yet share all the experiences. Will it be good or bad? I will make sure I will tell all about them, and I saw today Jules talk about her spiritual path using the tarot cards, major arcana, as the illustrative way to show how her path has been, and it was really interesting, and I actually thought I would do a video response to her using tarot cards as well, but I came here and I sat down. I realized that I just can't use the Rider-Waite deck for this, and I have to figure out first which deck I can use. The fact that Major Arcana is so entwined with person's personal lifespan, and also the whole humanity's lifespan. In person's life, it comes a shorter sequences that the next card appears, but in the humanity's timeline, so to speak, the major arcana is falling into larger time spans, pieces. And I went back to early 1200s with using this system, trying to not trying to fit, but trying to find as much information as I could for this time period, and to see if this card that I thought how the pattern goes would fit into this time period, and interestingly and scarily it does. So I'm beginning to think that, as nobody knows where the major arcana actually appeared, we know that the Visconti Sforza was like the first tarot deck that had the major arcana, which was in 1400s. So where it actually came from is unknown, and there are many theories, but actually we don't know. But it falls into the humanity's progress and the humanity's centuries long of evolvement to this day. And with this you can see what's next and what's going to be. And how I know where some cards started and all, I saw in a dream, like I had so many experiences with someone. I can't see him, and I'm saying him because he has male voice. He has been my main guide, because he appears here and there and explains me these things that has been so revealing to me, and has been getting me so much further along my path that I can't even fathom this whole concept of the knowledge I've been given through those dream things. And it's always like this, you know, when you go to school and in your class, but this is 101, and you are shown and told the things, how they work, why they are like this, and how I can use them, or how I shouldn't use some things. And so this was shown to me on the year, like, you know, this light up fancy board where you write and it lights up instead of chalk, or I don't know. And I was shown the timeline with the cards and how it works, and the cards were not in the same sequel as it is in the Rider-Waite system, meaning the 11 and 8, the justice and strength are switched compared to Rider-Waite. And I remembered what year span was what card, and I just went from there. I was shown a little time span of where 1800s to the 2000s, and it makes so much sense, you know. I can't even, this, like, I now know what year is coming to be next, and the next to it, and where all this is going. And this clarity feels so good, but it's also scary. And how the Fool card is not the whole sequence as the other cards, but the Fool card is like, you know, the energy, like electricity or whatever, has its own sequence. It goes in a waves, ups and downs, and then there's always this 0 point tiny time piece where nothing happens, where everything is still, and then it starts again. And this is like physics and electronics and everything. And as my husband is a what is he? Engineer, and he has learned those things. Like, I asked him and we discussed this and with him, and he was the one who actually pointed out the sequence and the zero energy point, which is tiny, so the Fool card does not actually work in the same with the same power. So there is no Fool era. There's only one little point after the world when it is standing still, and then the magician comes and it again starts. So interesting, very, very interesting. I will make a huge long story about that one day, but showing the years and everything, and you can agree or disagree, it's your choice, but my I feel I need to put this out there, and also all the other things that the guide has told me and shown me. This is, I think, helpful for others as well, and if not helpful, maybe some things of it are of use for someone, or maybe for just fun, I don't know. But I feel I need to just pass this knowledge along what I've gotten, because most of it is not personal, but actually this was helpful for personal use, but this is universal, like everyone could actually benefit from it, in my opinion. So, these things. And you may be thinking why I'm holding the drum, and as you maybe know, I learned in school. We had the theater class as well, and we were said that if in the first episode of the play, there's a gun or a sword or something hanging on the set or wall, then in the last or before that, this sword or gun will be used in this play. So, interesting fact. I've been looking at interesting coincidences in other areas like movies and such as well, when you see things just used as, I don't know, background. Sooner or later these background random things will come into the play itself, and this is in life as well. So I'm really, really detail oriented, and I can see those things all the time. So back to the story. When you saw a drum in a first minute in this video, then will it be used, or am I just mind playing you? I don't know even. Today is a little bit humid day, and drum is not as sturdy as I would maybe like it to be, but it's not as soft as the time when we were playing in the sea. Then we were starting to play, then the drums were relatively okay, but by the time I shot this video, and then the drums were really, really soft, but who cares, right? Because they still made sound and all the fun stuff. So, oh, also, not the drum yet. I'm going to take the Korea Magicians. Where's the book even? Here, deck, and I will want to take a few cards to see where we will be going together. What will be my journey with this deck? I went through this deck and I saw so many familiar things I've seen already in the dreams or whatever other, I don't know, flashbacks I've had. So I can't thank the beautiful friend enough for gifting me this. So, where will I be going? I didn't shuffle it off, but yet, holy moly. Shuffling a little bit more and taking one more. So, I'm not going to go into the book, but oh my god. Okay, so man of nature. This is who I am. This is what I'm born into. All this being aligned with nature and using the nature and the strengths and weaknesses of being with the nature and yeah, trying to be the one with this. Like I drew it as last card. So this is me. This is me going into what the cards will ever bring. First card I drew was the Abyss. So Abyss for me, and what I'm seeing on this card is actually they're going through the abyss, the unknown, the void to reach this. I see this as the lower or the ground level, and I need to go through this and through those I don't know, they look like icicles, but they are actually like dripping clouds to get this level. And the lady who told me those things, whom I talked about, told me to aim to electric blue, and while not exactly electric blue, I can see what this means. This is me, the man of nature, going to the lands of unknown for me. The second card was Breach of Death. I will most definitely read what the meanings say, but I would be experiencing the breach of darkness, or the feeling of leaving the body for me to be able to ascend in short, I'm trying to make it short, I already blabbered so much. So next card was death. So we are moving from the abyss to the bridge of death to the death. And last card, what was the Elder, which makes so much sense, because moving through the darkness and letting your old self die. Also, death for me means the concept of time being vanished or doesn't mean anything anymore, and the concept of time itself hasn't meant anything for me for quite a long time. So now I have to walk my, not talk, but thought with this everything, that I will be moving to the level where the time is not a thing, as one of my goals is to be able to move along or go to, like, time travel, let's say, something like that, to be able to use my knowledge and to be able to rise to the level where I can see things. And the elder for me is one of my goals that I have with the ascension thing and going through this everything, is to meet my true guides in the light level who can open up new things for me. So I'm moving from the forest people to the unknown to me, but I have to let go of or leave behind many things from my old self for this. And funny thing, lately, let's say 3-4 months, I have been really often thinking about, I want to know exactly, or I want to see exactly what happens when we die, when I die, when the moment of death, until what happens then. Where will we go? Do we even go anywhere? So this tells me that the thing that has been in my mind a lot lately will get the answer with using these cards. So, oh my god, I will put them here